Before we go much further into branding, I'd like to recap some of the things that we've already covered. And to do that, I'm going to be using the branding checklist that you can open up and use yourself. You can download it right there in the training. So branding video 1, we covered the brainstorming part of your brand, speaking about your target demographic, how you're going to solve a problem that they have, your unique selling proposition, so what's unique about your business, your messaging, and incorporating storytelling into your marketing. Here in branding video 2, we're going to move on to some of the more nitty-gritty, some more of the nuts and bolts components of your branding tasks, okay? And the first thing that you need to do is we need to come up now with a name, okay? You need a name and a tagline for your business. And before you can actually name your business, I recommend that you view or read the About Your Brand handout in this module. Specifically, I talk a lot in there about whether you want to be known as a personal or professional brand. We also covered that in the overview video for this module. From there, once you have your ideas, you may want to do some keyword research if that's needed, okay? So you may want to go out and look and see what keywords people are searching for in this niche. Now, don't forget that you're also going to be doing this for your clients. So you may think to yourself what I just said. You may think to yourself, well, okay, obviously they're searching for social media manager or social media management. Those are the keywords. Help with social media, right? Those are the keywords that people are searching for. But this work that you're doing in branding and moving forward into your technical setup and optimization, you're not only going to be completing these tasks for yourself, but you're also going to be completing these for your clients. So you may want to use something like the Google keyword tool to see what words and phrases people are using in addition to the main keywords that you've identified, that you may want to incorporate into the name of your brand. This is if you're having, trouble coming up with something, or everything that you come up with seems to be taken, okay? So you want to come up with about 10 or so potential names and ideas, and go ahead and write those down, or, jot them in your notes or your Evernote or however you do that. And the reason for this is that you're probably not going to necessarily land and be able to use the very first one that you come up with. So you want to come up with several different ideas that you can maybe choose between, and write them all down and keep note of them. Because the next thing we're going to go do is research the availability and choose one of those names for our brand. Okay? So part of the research is it's twofold. It's your domain name and your social media profile names. Okay? So first of all, to check your domain name, you want to click the hosting link in the resources document for this module, and you're going to scroll down to the bottom and you're going to click domain names. Now here you can search for all different kind of domain names. Get your .com here, and I'm going to show you how to secure this in the next video, which is domains, hosting, and WordPress. But for the purpose of seeing if your name is available, please go here as part of your research. So the username that I am going to be using for this particular training is smmgr.org, social media manager org, and we'll search and see if that .com is available. smmgr.org.com is available. So if this were the username that I wanted to use, I could see that the .com is available, which is always your first choice. If the .com is not available, the .net is your next best bet, and perhaps even the .biz, okay? The other ones are maybe third best, but .biz or .net you could use if the .com is not available. So because my username was available here, what I have to do now is make sure that it's available on my social media sites. And the first site I'm going to come to is called Namecheck. And I'm going to type SMMGR.org for Social Media Manager org. And I'm going to click search. And as you can see, it's starting to come up and tell me which social media sites this name is available on and which social media sites this name is taken on. Now, this isn't necessarily like live and die by this, right? It doesn't mean just because it says it's available that it actually is, but it'll start to give us an idea. Is it available on Facebook? Is it available on YouTube? Is it available on Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn? And the other main social media sites, let's see, I'm looking for Instagram is an important one. Let's see, where's Insta? I must be blind and I'm not seeing it. Here's Foursquare. SlideShare is great. Why don't I see Instagram? I must be blind. I'm going to just Control F. Insta. Oh, maybe it's not here at all. It's not found. All right, so it looks totally like it's available. One other place that I would check here is Noam. And Noam you can even pay, and they'll reserve your name on hundreds of social media sites for you. The one kind of downside to these is that they won't tell you, see here, this one says YouTube is not available, but Twitter is. This one says Facebook is not available. LinkedIn is. So I think I found it on enough sites that I might use it because I can always put an underscore or change it and modify it just slightly. But as long as it's mostly available on these two sites and the domain is available, then that is the name that I am going to use, okay? So let me hop back over here to my branding setup checklist. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create an email address to use for all of those profiles. So before I start setting my profiles up, I want to create an email address that I can use to associate with all of my social media profiles. And it's easiest if you just do that with the domain, with gmail.com. Gmail is the easiest one, okay? Now, again, before you do the final securing of that domain name and social media profiles, one thing that I would recommend that you do is read the keywords, domain names, and usernames handout in this module, and it will go more in depth and give you some more ideas about ways that you can brand your business through the way that you name it, the way that you get your domain, and the way that you get your social media usernames. So the 3 documents that I just referenced were the branding setup checklist, which we're looking at right now, the about your brand, which is going to go into whether you want to be a personal brand or a product or corporate brand. And then you also want to look at the keyword, domain name, and username document, which is going to help you actually name your business and come up with what you're going to use for your website name and all of your social media profile names. Then you're going to go out and secure those using the HostGator link that I've given you. And you can, again, double check at Namecheck and Noam.com. And then just like you can see here, you're going to create a Gmail account that you can use to set up all of your social media profiles. And I've got one here that I'm using. However, if you were going to create a new one, okay, you would just create a new account. You can create as many of these as you want. I always create a new one for every project that I'm working on. It doesn't matter if it's for me or for a client, okay? And you can just go through this quick process here to set up a new Gmail account. Now, one thing that I do also recommend is that you start to use your client info sheet. And the reason you want to start using your client info sheet is now once you've created this Gmail account that you're going to use, and you're going to go out and set up your website and do all the plugins and everything that come in the forthcoming videos, and setting up all of your social media profiles, you're going to want to keep track of all of your usernames and passwords. And so if you don't have a good system for keeping track of usernames and passwords, then start yourself a client info sheet so that you can do that successfully. I'm just looking at my notes here because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Let's go back over here to our branding checklist, okay? Once you have secured your domain name and your social media profile names by setting everything up, then you can begin to think about what colors, what fonts, your logos and graphics, your headshots, your biography, and your tagline. And this is in the branding components handout, which you'll want to review, and it'll give you some suggestions on how to have a great headshot, what you should use for a logo, how to pick your colors for your website, and all kinds of interesting branding components that you'll want to set up. So you want to read that one as well, okay? So this completes branding video 2. The next thing that you want to do is watch your WordPress videos about setting up your WordPress website. And once you've done that, then you'll want to go on and set up your social media profiles completely to work along with your website, and then move on to creating content and starting connecting, okay? So you've watched branding video 1. This is branding video 2. So now go on and watch your website videos, and then move on and watch your social media profile videos. I hope this was helpful for you, and be sure to check out all the handouts before that I mentioned. Be sure to check those out before you move on to your WordPress videos.